What's up everybody, it's your boy Wreck-It Rob, and today we have a little bit different of a video for you guys. Today I'm going to be taking you over all of the hardware I use for all these videos and how you guys could recreate everything that I do here, as well as how much it would cost to make my whole setup from scratch.
Okay, for start, here is my mouse. It is a UTech Smart Venus gaming mouse. It is RGB and it is wired. I prefer wired simply because it has less input lag. Here's actually the really nice braided cord on it. I really do like this cord. And honestly, just the feel of this mouse is really nice. You can see on the finger buttons that it's nice and rubberized. Now, if you look on the bottom of the mouse, you're actually going to see a small opening. If you try to open that, what you're going to find is multiple weights on the inside. Oh, can't get it open. Fade out. There we go. Much better. So if you pull one out, it's just a little small cylinder of metal. I'm gonna pop that back in. Now, one thing I really like about this mouse, and the reason why I got it, was all these buttons on the side. So in total, it actually has 18 separate programmable buttons, but the 12 on the side are the ones that I really care about. We then also have the two DPI sensors on the top. It'll actually show you as the lights come up which setting you're on. The bottom is at 1000, 2000, 4000, 8000, 16,400 DPI. Next we have my keyboard. I've gotten a lot of hate for this keyboard. It's a Victising just LED backlit keyboard. It is wired because that is honestly what I prefer with everything, like I said with the mouse. It is anti-ghosting and spill resistant, so it's actually really nice. And you can see it has a nice backlighting. The backlighting is actually why I bought the keyboard in the first place. I wanted something that I could type and game with at night without having to search for my keys in the dark, because that always sucks. It has a nice knob on top that you can use for adjusting the lighting, as well as a button on bottom that you can just click to shut off the lighting or turn it back on. It also on the bottom has two small flippers that you can use, like most keyboards. I tend to use the keyboard without it, simply because I prefer it that way. It feels better on my wrist, but it can vary per person. When I tap the buttons on the keypad, it has a really nice feel to it. It's a lot softer than a lot of keyboards you'll find. It's a lot less tactile, which personally I prefer for YouTube because you guys hear it a little bit less. Now here is my monitor. It's a 24-inch AOC. It has a refresh rate of 60 Hz and I believe a delay of about 2 milliseconds or 1. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I got this a while ago, so I'm not quite sure on the specs of it. Next we have my HP laptop. I really like the finish on the top of this thing. It's really nice. It looks very good and it works really well for everything that I need to do with it. I originally bought this laptop for $400. It has an i3 in it and 8 gigs of RAM. I originally got it for video editing, so I needed to get something that was on the cheaper end but had enough RAM to cope with video editing, and this ended up being the best choice for me. Next I have the most infamous microphone in all of YouTube, the Blue Snowball, or in my case, the Blue Snowball Ice, which is what you're seeing on screen right now. Now it's very well built. If you actually pick this thing up, it's relatively heavy, even though it's just a small little ball. You would expect it to be a lot lighter. I know I did when I first got it. Now if you look on the back, the plug-in for it is the same as a printer cable. You then wire up to your PC with just a straight USB. So this is a USB condenser mic. The Blue Snowball Ice is actually just a cardioid mic, which is specifically what I wanted. I wanted a mic that would only pick up stuff in front of it. I didn't want any of the junk happening around or behind it. It also comes with a nice little tripod that you can just screw into the bottom. Or you can pop that out and you can screw in a mount to put it on a scissor arm. Now once again, I have one of the most well-known streaming webcams for YouTube. This is the Logitech C920 webcam. They have newer models of this, but I settled on this one because the newer models don't improve on a whole lot. They add green screen and things like that, but I don't really need that. The good part about this webcam is it shoots in 1080p at 30 frames, which is generally what I stream at, and while I do record at 60 frames, you tend to not really notice that much of a difference. If you open up the small clip on the bottom, you can clip it right to your computer, or if you do what I do, I have it actually clipped to a ring light, so that way when it shines on my face, you can see my pupils as rings. Sorry, no sexy slow-mo on this one. I kind of threw this in at the last minute because it's only kind of part of my setup. I generally only use this for picture taking, sometimes I've used it in thumbnails, but this is the Sony DSC H300 CyberShot, which is my choice of digital camera. Sadly, it's not a DSLR, so it does not have a removable lens, which kind of stinks, but it does have multiple modes which you can shoot in. Personally, I leave it in manual because I like the ability to change the settings of what I'm doing to get the best shot, because automatic doesn't always do it. It also has the ability to record video, but it really only does that in 720p, which I don't feel like uploading to YouTube with. I prefer getting to show you guys 1080p. Next up is a little bit odd for me to be showing you guys, but this is actually my external hard drive. It is a Windows Discovery Passport. It is a single terabyte, and I got this because it was much cheaper than internal hard drives, and because of the way I always sit my computer, it always hangs in the back anyway, so nobody really sees it, and it doesn't really bother me at all. And for me, it's worked just as well as any other hard drive that you can find, even if it might be a little bit slower than, say, a solid state. The nice thing about it is if I'm doing any kind of editing on my PC that I would prefer to take on my laptop, I can just unplug it and plug it right into my laptop. Here is a little bit of slow-mo of the fans on my PC, since I forgot to actually record the whole thing. And here is the beast itself. The outside case is a Chaser Mark I from Thermaltake. I really like this case. It has some nice lights on it, it has plenty of buttons, and a couple of USB slots on the top. It also has a slot on the side that I can flip open to hang my headset on, if my headset wasn't broken. Also on the top are two fans, one is in the back, and there should be one in the front, but I haven't put one there yet. Here are the USB slots, there's the headphone and mic jacks, also the fan LED, and the low and high modes for the case fan. Now onto the inside, which is what most people really want to see. There are two Corsair fans on top, one fan on the back, and one fan on the front. That way we get the best airflow. Now on the bottom and the back we have a 650 watt Thermaltake power supply. It's not their most powerful version, but with all the components that I have in my PC, I've never had any issue with power. I'm sure once I upgrade my graphics card, my CPU, and everything like that, I will have to upgrade, but at the moment, it works perfectly fine. Now my motherboard that you can see is an Asus Strix gaming motherboard. It has DDR4 Corsair RAM, and it comes in with built-in Wi-Fi and USB 3.1. On top of my processor, you can see right there, I have Corsair liquid cooling, and the processor itself is an i7 7700K. I got an i7 because I really needed to do video editing with this thing. It's a quad core, so I needed the extra threads to do multiple overlays when I was editing. And now, onto the beast itself. This is a Zotac GeForce GTX 980 Ti. This is also the superclocked edition. So this thing is a beast. This thing is meant for power, and this thing has never really caused my system to bottleneck. I haven't experienced too many games that I couldn't play on great quality with any less than 60 frames, which is what my monitor is set at. I found that this graphics card, even in 2019, still holds its own. And sexy ending shot.
Guys, that's pretty much it. I have a relatively lower end setup. It's relatively cheap. This is actually how much the whole thing costs. I would have shown this to you on a desk. Unfortunately, my desk is not here yet. Hopefully ordering one soon, and I will be putting a link in the description of the desk I'm actually planning on getting. Once I get that, I'll do a full-on setup tour of everything I have behind it, around it, essentially like an office tour with it, but it's probably not gonna be set up in an office. It's probably just gonna be set up in my apartment living room. Once I get that, I will be showing you guys all that. Until then, thank you for sticking around. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to wreck that like button and smash subscribe for me. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends. And if you wanted to get any of these things, if you wanted to improve your setup at all, if it is an improvement to any of you guys, I have affiliate links to all of these down in the description. Until next time, thank you for watching. It's been a pleasure, and I will see you guys in the next video. Later.